Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erica. Today I'm going to be creating this pretty gold look, which is perfect for St. Patty's Day or just the weather warming up in general. I'm going to be using a bunch of new makeup products, some of which were sent to me in PR and some of them I purchased myself. So if you want to see how I got this look, just keep watching. And if you do end up liking the video, please remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also, I just wanted to let you guys know that I recently applied to be a part of the Sephora squad. So I will put a link down below if you wanted to write me a testimonial. That would be so amazing. All you have to do is click the link, write a short description, just a short little paragraph letting Sephora know why you enjoy watching my videos or why you like following me. It'll just help them get a better idea of me as a person and why they should pick me to be a part of the Sephora squad. I will also put some information down below about what the Sephora squad is in case you're not familiar with it. But if you do that, please leave me a comment down below so I can tell you thank you. And even if you don't comment, thank you so much for taking the time to watch my videos and for all of your support. And that's enough talking. Let's just get into the video. Alright, so I'm starting out with the new One Size Secure the Blur Primer. This one is great for filling in those pores or any fine lines or where you have any texture. So I like to use it right in my T-zone. It's also really good at controlling oil, so if you get oily, this would be a good one for you. Then I'm going in with foundation. I've also been trying this one out and I really like it a lot. It's from Shiseido. It's the Synchro Skin Radiant Lifting Foundation. It does have SPF 30 in it as well. So I like to put it all over using a foundation brush and then tap it in the rest of the way with a beauty sponge. And I usually do about 2 pumps, 2 to 3, just kind of depending how much coverage I want. And this one is more of like a natural finish to the skin. It's not matte and it's not really dewy. It also doesn't feel cakey on my skin, which is kind of hard to find, I feel like. And this is the shade Shell, which is 160. And I'm just tapping it, patting it in the rest of the way with my beauty blender. This foundation just does not feel heavy on the skin at all, and it gives such a nice natural finish. I'm not one for like a super full coverage foundation, so this one is more like medium, I would say, but you can definitely build it up and make it more full. A new concealer that I have is from Laura Mercier. So it has 2 different ends. One end is Correct, which is like a color corrector. And then the other end is Brighten, which is more for coverage and really good for brightening up those under eye circles. First, I start out with the Correct side and just put it right where you have any darkness or discoloration. It's also great for like acne or any sunspots you might have on your face. And then you can either blend it out with your fingers, a brush, or a beauty sponge. If I'm doing a more light makeup day, I like to just blend it out with my fingers, but you can play around with it and see what works for you. So then I'm going in with the Brighten side, and pretty much wherever I still see any darkness or anywhere I want to highlight my face. So I like to focus it on the outer corner of my eye to give it a little bit of a lift, and then right where I have darkness. And then I also use it on the bridge of my nose to highlight, and just anywhere else I would normally brighten up my face. And this is a pretty natural product. It's more like light, more medium coverage, I would say. So sometimes you might just have to build it up a little bit depending how much coverage you want. So for my eyes, I have a couple new products. I just got this brush set in the mail from Sigma. It's the new Deluxe Blending Brush Set. And this hasn't launched yet, but it will be launching on March 23rd, and it'll be available on sigmabeauty.com. And then they also launched 6 new eyeshadow palettes. So there are 6 9 eyeshadow palettes. I'm going to be using this one, which is the Ritzy eyeshadow palette. I just wanted to do like a pretty neutral gold look today, so I thought this one would be perfect. I'm gonna do one eye off camera just to get a feel for what type of look I wanna do today. And I'll be back in a second to do the other eye with you. All right, so I got one eye all done. So this is the look I'm going to be creating on this eye. And I'm only really using one brush from the new set for now, but I'll plan to try them out more and let you guys know my thoughts. But the first one I'm going to be using, this is a new one, so I thought I would use it. The other brushes are, some of them are existing brushes and some are new. So this is one of the new ones. This is the E40 Tapered Blending Max. And I'm taking that and I'm going in with this shade Silk. And I'm just using this as my base shade. So I'm just putting this all over my eye, up to the brow and all over the lid. This is pretty much my skin tone, so I can be pretty messy with it. And then I'm going to be mapping out this wing shape. So I'm using a brush from Morphe. It's a Morphe M213. Otherwise, you can use like a little winged liner brush or whatever works best for you. And I'm going into this shade up here, which is called Nectar. I'm just taking a little bit of product on the end of the brush, and then I'm looking straight ahead into a little mirror. And I'm just mapping out my wings. So I'm going from my lower lash line and bringing it out. And you can see like where my eye kind of folds above my crease. That's where I want the wing to follow. So you can kind of make this however you want, but I like to start out with a lighter shade just because it's easier to fix and erase if you mess up your shape. And then just kind of compare it with your other eye, make sure you have it matched up as good as you want to. And then I like to darken it up a little bit more. So then taking the same brush, I'm going into a darker shade and I'm using this one, which is called Enrich. And I'm just going right over this outline that I did. And then once you get to the tail of the wing, just kind of flick it out. And I bring that about halfway in for now, and then you can always bring it in further later if you want. And my eyes are kind of different shapes, so mine never line up perfectly. I haven't mastered that yet, but if you can get yours perfect, good for you. So then I'm staying with that shade Enrich. And I'm just filling in like about a quarter of the way in. And then I'll start doing a gradient with some shimmer shades. These shadows are blending out very nice. They're definitely buttery, pigmented, smooth. And each palette, I believe, is $29. So they're really affordable in my opinion and really nice quality. So then I'm going in with that gold shade, which is called Midas. And I'm using a Sigma Medium Sweeper E54 brush. And I'm putting this more on the center of my lid. And then kind of feathering it into this dark shade just to blend it. And then I'm just taking the same brush. You can get a clean one if you want to. Then I'm going in with this shade Gossamer. So just doing that then in the inner corner. The only thing I would say about these palettes is I wish they had a mirror here because I keep having to put it down and then pick up a mirror. If I'm just getting ready, I normally don't have that problem, but for filming, I like to have a palette that has a mirror on it just so I don't have to keep going back and forth and picking up a mirror and then picking up the eyeshadow, but not a deal breaker for me. And I think they maybe do that just to keep the palettes more affordable, but I could be wrong. So then same thing, just meeting it up with this gold shadow. And then I bring some underneath my eye too. And I'm also going to bring some of these crease shades just on my lower lash line just to match it all up and help it mesh together. And then I'm taking that shade Enrich again and I'm smoking it along my upper lash line in place of eyeliner. So then I'm going back in with my tapered blending brush and the shade Silk, which is the lightest one we used. And I'm just kind of buffing out this edge a little bit, just to get it to blend a little better. I want a tiny bit more shimmer on my eyes, so I'm going to try some of this shade Gold Rush, just because it looks really shimmery and pretty. So I'm taking that medium sweeper brush still. I'm just going to pat it in the center of my lid. That is stunning. It's like the perfect shimmery eyeshadow topper. It could really transform any of these shades. I think that's my favorite shade so far. That and Gossamer. I really love those. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it made it so much more pretty in person. It's just so shimmery. I'm not sure if this is a new mascara, but it's new to me. I've been loving this mascara from Maybelline. It's the Falsies Lash Lift Mascara. I like the waterproof formula because it holds a curl in my lashes a lot better. My lash curler I use is from Lancome. It just fits my eye shape really well. You don't have to splurge on this, but it's lasted me years. And it just really grabs my lashes nice. So now that my lashes are curled, I'm going in with a couple coats of this mascara. I did 2 coats on this eye, so I'm going to do the same thing over here. And I just do a light coat on the bottom. If I'm not wearing false lashes, I don't like to do too much on the bottom because I feel like it can overpower the top lashes. I'm going to wipe away my bake and be careful not to hit my lashes since it's still drying. There was a tiny bit of fallout with that last shade, which was Gold Rush, but otherwise I really did not notice any fallout with these eyeshadows. And then doing a second coat. For this mascara being drugstore, it does an even better job than some high-end mascaras I've tried. It really almost looks like I'm wearing some light false lashes. So pretty. Makes them look so long. Now I'm gonna finish off my face. I have 2 new shades of the Jaclyn Cosmetics blush and bronzer duos. So the first one I have is the shade Lilac Love in Top Tan, which is, I think, the lightest shade. And then I also got a more warm-toned, like, medium shade. It said for light to medium skin. And this is the shade Warm Flush and Golden Goddess. So I think I'm going to start out with the lighter one, and then we'll see. So I'm using the Lilac Love Top Tan, and I'm using a Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH05 brush. And this is my first time trying these, so we will see how it goes. This definitely is a light shade and cool toned, so it would be good for contouring. Definitely will make a good nose contour shade. And like she said, if you watched her video, these are more of a buildable formula, so you won't see a ton of color payoff right away, but I can definitely tell it's making a difference. And the formula seems really buttery and smooth. I can just tell it's going on so smooth on my skin. Doesn't seem to be doing any like getting patchy at all. I do have some bumps on my skin right now from dermaplaning recently, which sometimes my skin just does that, but it's nothing to do with any of the products I'm using. I don't feel like it's clinging to any spots on my skin. It is a really nice color though. You can see this side compared to this side. This side just looks so much more sculpted and chiseled and getting a nice amount of warmth without being too much or too overpowering. And this brush works perfectly with this. I think the other shade I got will be perfect for summertime. I'll probably use that blush today just since I have a more warm tone look, but I love this so far. Takes a little bit of time to build it up if you want more pigment to your face, but I would rather have that when I'm using a bronzer, just because if you do too much, it's so hard to go back and take it away. If you guys have tried these, you'll have to let me know what you think of them in the comments. And also let me know what shade you got. Actually, let me know if you've tried any of these products and what your thoughts are. They will be some good ones for the Sephora sale coming up. Okay, and then to contour my nose, I'm just gonna pinch the end of this brush and use that same shade. Mostly because I'm too lazy to find another brush. And I don't know where my favorite nose contour brush is at the moment. So I just do a little bit on each side of the bridge of my nose, and then a tiny bit on the tip. I'm just gonna bake a tiny bit under here just to clean it up a little. I don't have just the translucent powder down here, so hopefully this pink Kylie one will work. While that bakes, I'm going in with the Warm Flush Blush from Jaclyn Cosmetics. It's kind of a tongue twister. I'm using a Morphe E4 blush brush, tapped in like 3 times. And tapped off the excess. And I've been focusing my blush a little higher up on my cheekbones. I feel like it just gives my face a nice lifted effect. That shade is perfect for this look. It kind of matches my shirt too, that you can't see. That is so pretty. Nice and buildable, but has good pigment to it. Tiny bit on my nose. And then I'm going back in with this Sigma brush, and I'm just gonna do a tiny bit above this crease to tie it all together, more towards the inner part of my eye. My face is starting to feel real dry already, so I'm just gonna wipe this away. By the way, for wiping this, I'm using a Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH03. This one works really good to pat away any excess powder. It's actually a foundation brush, but it works really nice for this. And then these aren't actually new, but they came back. So these are from Jaclyn Cosmetics. I just have the old packaging, so now they're in new packaging. I'm going to use some of the luminous powder in the shade Do Me, and I'm using a Sigma F03, which is a high cheekbone highlighter brush, and I like to just dump some into the cap. You can use this as an all-over setting powder if you want, or you can use it as a light highlighter, which is what I'm going to do. This just gives your skin a really nice lit from within glow. It's good if you have texture, but you still want a little bit of a glow to your skin because it doesn't really emphasize any of that texture because it's not so intense. So since I have some of these bumps going on right now, I just didn't want to do anything that'll draw too much attention to those. And then just to finish off the eye look, I'm going in with some of this Beaming Loose Highlighter, I think is what it's called. And I'm using the shade Extra, which is a really pearly white shade. You just need like a tiny, tiny bit of this. It goes a long way. And I'm using this little Jaclyn Hill JH42 brush from Morphe. I'm just going to pop it right under my brow bone and then the inner corner. So pretty. This makes a really good nose highlight too. Okay, and then I have a new setting spray that I haven't tried out yet. This, I believe, is Addison Rae's brand. I'm not sure. Item Beauty. It's the One Hit Prime Set and Refresh Dewy Finish Face Mist. It was a very fine mist, so I don't see like any spots left on my face or anything. Doesn't really seem to have a scent to it. So just have brows and lips left. For my brows, this is really messy, but I've been loving this Anastasia Brow Freeze. It's just like a clear brow wax. And what I do is I take my spoolie and just tap it into the product. Or you can get a bunch on there and then wipe it off of the cap and work off of there, which is what I've done sometimes, which is why it looks so gross. But today I just lightly tapped in there and then running it through my brows. I like them to look feathery, so I just brush upwards. Just a light coat. And if you want, you could just leave them like this and not fill them in depending how full your brows are. But I like to go in with a brow pen. I like this one from NYX a lot. This is the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Pen in the shade Taupe. And I just follow the direction of my brow hairs now. And just fill them in so they're a little bit more full and fill in any sparse areas. But try not to go too overboard so that it still looks a little bit more natural and feathery. You just want to use a really light pressure and then just like flick the pen. So you're drawing in little brow hairs. Otherwise, that's about it. And then once the brow pen is dry, you can just go back with a second coat of the brow freeze just to make sure they're set in place. And if you really want them to be stuck down, you can take this silver part of your brush and just push your brow hairs down, or you can take your fingers if they're clean. And if you don't want them to look feathered so much, you can just take your spoolie and kind of brush down your brow hairs. I don't really have any new lip liners, so I'm using this ColourPop BFF lip liner because this one's pretty close to my natural lip shade. Sorry, camera cut me off. And then this is not a new product, I don't believe, but it's new to me. So I'm using this Danessa Myrick Color Fix Glaze. It's a lip, cheek, or eye glaze. And I'm just taking a little bit on my finger and just tapping it over that lip liner. This gloss doesn't feel sticky. It's like one of the smoothest glosses I've ever used. And I have actually put it on my eyes before, and even though my eyes are pretty hooded, it didn't make them feel weighed down or anything, and it didn't feel sticky throughout the day or like separate my makeup underneath. So if you want a video of me using it on other places in my face, let me know and I can do that. Okay, so I'm just gonna go fix my hair and then I'll be right back. All right, hair is done. Here is the finished look. I love how it turned out. I am so impressed with all of these new makeup products. I don't think there was anything that I did not like or that I wouldn't recommend. If you do end up picking up any of these products, let me know in the comments, and let me know if you like to see more videos like this where I'm trying out new makeup products that were sent to me. Most of these products were gifted. I will put it down in the description whether or not I purchased them myself, but thank you to all the brands that continue to send me PR and send me this makeup so I can continue to do these videos for all of you. I really appreciate it. It helps me so much. And if you did like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.